This Women's History Month, we are highlighting a young Chicago woman turning her own late cancer diagnosis into a mission to help others. With cancer rates rising among women and lung cancer now impacting more women under 65 than men, self-advocacy is crucial.
I'm alive and I get to do this.
Aurora Lucas and her doctor are talking about her recent overseas trip. Looking at her, you wouldn't guess she's battling lung cancer.
I can actually remember the date. It was August 14th, 2021. I had chest pain, but I had thought it was just anxiety.
At only age 28, the newlywed and busy teacher initially dismissed her symptoms, but as her cough and fatigue worsened, she finally went to see her primary care doctor.
He just looked at me and he said, you know, you look good. You're young. Go home, boil some water and add some honey to it. And I remember staring at him and I said, what? Because for me to get to that point, to get to my primary care physician, it took a lot because, you know, career and everything else was before my health at a young age.
Aurora's symptoms worsened, leading to multiple ER visits.
And they said, maybe it's an infection because you were not born here in the United States, or maybe it's an infection because you travel a lot, or maybe it's something else.
A small haze on her chest was finally discovered on a scan, but yet it took 4 months and insurance delays before she was diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
Oh my gosh, if I don't advocate and if I don't get the right care, I'm literally gonna die.
How did therapy go?
That's when she found a specialized team to take her case at Rush University Medical Center.
Aurora's special. I think she had my heart at day one. And I told my team at that time that we have to do everything and we have to make sure we're looking at this from as many angles as possible.
You've had a good treatment response.
Sarah Anderson provides support to patients undergoing treatment.
What used to be a very fearful diagnosis, I think we are now seeing we have so much hope that we can offer them because of the treatment advancements that we've seen. We'll continue to watch carefully.
Aurora's treatment allowed her to first harvest eggs and then go through chemo and radiation. Currently, she takes a daily pill.
We're moving lung cancer into the space of a chronic disease, much like we take care of patients with diabetes or hypertension.
I just wanted to emphasize that research has also kept me alive.
And she's using her journey to educate others on social media and at medical conferences to push for awareness, especially in underrepresented communities.
From my culture as an Asian American woman, I thought it was rude to ask questions or speak up.
Any questions, anything?
What does spacing out look like? I get to prove to myself that my body is still okay and still get to move around where I want to go.
Thanks to early detection and improved treatments, the American Lung Association reports a 26% increase in lung cancer survival rates over the last 5 years. But only 27% of cases are caught early when survival chances are highest. So if you feel something is wrong, you are encouraged to get screened. We just introduced you to Aurora and told you about her cancer journey. Now, though, she joins us live to talk more about, how this all has impacted her life. Good morning, Aurora.
Good morning, Dana.
So can you tell us more about the frustration getting a late diagnosis and how you're now using that to educate others?
Yeah, definitely. Looking back at the frustration, it wasn't just one time, but it was multiple times over and over again. And I just felt dismissed while knowing there was something wrong with my body. And how I'm using that today is that I know and have a lot of friends who have a late diagnosis. Mine was 4 months, but I actually have a really good friend and hers took about more than a year and it turned into a stage 4 diagnosis. And seeing that, I'm like, I have to keep speaking up because even though I've been speaking up for about a year or two, it's not like there's still a lot of people that are suffering because of their late diagnosis and being ignored.
So, you know, one of the most important things, right, post-diagnosis is care and finding the right treatment plan and group of doctors to help you through that journey. So how did you find your team of doctors at Rush who made treatment and life goals equally important, and you felt confident enough with them to trust your health with them?
Yeah, they were actually they weren't my first, second, they were actually my third healthcare team. And with my second healthcare team, they were way better than the first one. So when people started saying like, Aurora, what you have is not normal at 28 years old, having lung cancer, and people kept telling me go to Rush or go to a specialist healthcare team. And I was like, I'm so exhausted, like I don't even want to start over. They were like, no, you have to go to a specialist care team. And so I was like, okay. A family member brought me to Rush
And
for
how
a
did you
third
know
opinion,
that
and
they
it just felt right. Like they knew what was going on.
That's what I wanted to ask you, how you knew, you know, so it's a matter of interviewing and trusting your gut then, right? Is that what you would tell people?
Exactly. Yeah. Trusting my gut and listening. It was a lot of other healthcare people that were telling me to go.
I know you traveled through El Salvador and you called it a confidence booster, and I think that's wonderful. We might show a few pictures of that journey, but I want to ask you one last important, I think pertinent question. You talked earlier about being dismissed, feeling dismissed, and I know women, there you are on a wave, on a surfboard, but I know for far too long women have faced a lot of struggles when it comes to medical care, from research being focused only on men to, as you mentioned, feeling dismissed. So what specific advice, and we kind of have to keep it tight, would you have for women in particular when they are navigating the medical system?
The advice I would have is that as women, we are constantly dismissed. So that is a critical piece of information. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad. You have to speak up and take notes of all of your symptoms, because statistically, we are going to be dismissed constantly.
And just keep fighting for yourself, right? Even if it's uncomfortable.
Exactly, because your life literally depends on it.
All right, Aurora Lucas, I'm so glad to hear that you're doing so well and using your voice and your experience to help educate and inform others. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and speaking with me live this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.